You're listening to The Blind Chick, an Aftersight original podcast. We're telling you stories about strength, overcoming hurdles, and living experiences. We see who you really are. Blindness can be an adventure. Are you ready for the journey of a lifetime? We are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Blind Chick. That's Moses Street.
And that's Penn Street, the Blind Chick.
This is a rare moment. You have had actually too much coffee. I usually complain you don't have had enough, but I think you need to. I don't know how you decaffeinate, but I think you need to do that quickly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, Moses, the last two episodes of The Blind Chick, we actually kind of dove into what do blind people look like, and I'm just because I got to share what that feels like being somebody who's blind, and I get asked that, told that all the time. You don't look blind. But as my husband of decades, what goes through your head when people tell me that I don't look blind?
Well, it's really, really funny because it's more a story, because if anybody who can't actually see Penn, she's very good looking. And, but she has the blind problem. Is blind people, as we all know, are very, very scary. And it is hysterical to me to walk down a busy sidewalk with Penn when she's using her cane, as people start jumping to the sides because they want to get out of her way. And it's like this monster coming down the sidewalk, Penn being the monster, and all these horrified citizens of a mild thing, jumping out of their way. And they actually act like they're terrified. So
I know they do grab their children, they grab their pets, things like that. I know with
we've
Halloween,
had people try to climb the sides of buildings. Yes,
we have had that. They think they're Spider-Man all of a sudden. I've had people jump into planters on the side. I know with Halloween coming up, maybe we should play off of that.
Yes. Excellent idea.
Because they think it's like the Bride of Frankenstein coming down. Maybe I should start dressing like the Bride of Frankenstein.
And the money.
Maybe that's what blind people are supposed to look like.
Yeah.
It's just
terrifying. Anyway.
But I really would love to know what blind people look like. Like I really would like some feedback. So send that to us. I believe it's info@aftersight.org. Let us know what sighted people out there. There's a lot of you. Let us know, what do blind people look like? And you better not say Stevie Wonder. All right, let's get started.
Get started. Poor Chelsea.
Enough about us. Well, let's get started. Chelsea Elder, welcome to The Blind Chick.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, where are you talking to us from?
I am in our office, our national headquarters in Westminster, Colorado.
Oh, you're close.
Oh, so you're close. You are very close.
Wow. So you live in Colorado?
I do. I live in Colorado, but we actually operate programs from Hawaii to Puerto Rico. It just so happens that our main location is based out of Westminster, Colorado.
Interesting.
That's awesome. Well, tell us about Adaptive Adventures, but I also want to know a little bit about you.
Sure.
I know that your job is not just your job; it's your passion, it's your life, and there's a story behind why that is what it is. So
So I actually was introduced to adaptive sports by an individual named Chris Wiegand, who is our national paddle sports and climbing manager at Adaptive Ventures. But he got me interested in volunteering for the organization in 2010. I had just sold my dance studio in Broomfield and was looking for a career transition. And I knew I wanted to serve veterans and people with physical disabilities, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And he took me out to a pool session for people to learn how to roll a kayak as an adaptive athlete, and I was hooked. And so my father had a physical disability, and he was a disabled Vietnam veteran, and I was his caregiver for 5 years. And my brother also has a physical disability, so and he's the one who went with me to the first program, the pool session, and learned how to roll a kayak. So very passionate about what we do at Adaptive Ventures. My family has benefited greatly from the programs that we provide. So our organization provides progressive outdoor sports opportunities to improve quality of life for children, adults, and veterans with physical disabilities and their families. And being in Colorado, you probably know there are quite a lot of organizations that do similar work, but we are very different in the fact that we are not site-based. We are a mobile program. So we actually travel the country to establish and provide sustainable programs in unserved communities. So we actually go and try to provide all the resources that a community needs to have their own programs. So whether that's equipment, training, and education, insurance, administrative support, whatever they need, we try to remove those barriers to have that program. So for example, we have a program in Hawaii and Puerto Rico, and so we actually transported trailers of equipment to those areas, trained people with disabilities in the area, specifically some disabled veterans, to run the program on an ongoing basis. And then we continue to go out quarterly and support those programs and run the administration for them and stuff. So our programs are all provided free of charge. And so that cost is never a barrier to participation. And we also include families and caregiving teams in the sports that we provide. So making sure that everybody is engaged in the process and getting to recreate together. And we provide programs in cycling, climbing, kayaking, paddleboarding, dragon boat racing, skiing, so a wide variety of outdoor recreation opportunities.
I disagree with you. I think you said, yeah, there are a lot of programs out there. None of them come close to you. On everything that you've said. You know, it's and one of them is that you do include the families and the caregivers. As somebody who uses adaptive sports of all different kinds, and I've been through a lot of programs, your program is not just inclusive for people with disabilities, but you include the caregivers, you include the family members. And to me, to be able to go and to ski with my family, like it's great that I could go ski when I was younger. You know, I would go to the adaptive ski programs, but my sister wasn't allowed to go with me, or my boyfriend, or my brother. You know what I mean? Like it was just me. So again, it was just kind of isolating. Like I was super thankful I had that experience. I'm not saying that, but and also how you guys take it to rural communities. You take it to states that don't have any programs. I just think I want you to know that I hold you way up on a pedestal above all the others. So
I appreciate that.
I really do.
Well, and we are really passionate about collaboration. And so, you know, and being the bridge builder for different resources. So we're really known for that, especially with like our adaptive cycling clinics we do across the country and like the parking lots of rehab hospitals and stuff. But it truly is so important for not only for us to include other community partners so people get connected to each other and there's those additional resources, but also to have the families involved so that, a lot of the programs that we do locally here are with Craig Hospital. And for many of the people that are participating in the program, they're only 6 weeks out post injury. So having the family involved allows them to kind of see their life's not over. They can still recreate together. And then seeing those transferable skills, like as they're transferring from their power wheelchair into a kayak or whatever that might be, that it's, those are things that also transfer into daily life and kind of make it not as scary. And then specifically for individuals with blindness or visual impairment within our programs, having that ability to train their family or caregiver on how to be supportive in the sport of their choice is great. Instead of just being like, oh, I got to go ride a tandem bike with this pilot, but now, my spouse or whatever doesn't know how to do that with me. So we're really passionate about making sure that that's a priority.
So
I really feel like you guys show what we can still do, you don't focus on what we can't do. And you also allow and open that door for our family and caregivers to experience that. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. So, okay, Moses, I'll let you talk now.
Yeah, that's our whole relationship. Is she always cues me when I can talk. Works great at parties. So one of the things you said, I could be totally wrong, but that if somebody is doing an event for people with disabilities, you can come in and help them put it together. So this might give an example, because Penn and I have been kicking around the idea that it was Penn's idea of doing a walk across Colorado called Canes Across Colorado, or Canes Across the Rockies.
No, it's called Canes Across the Plains.
Yeah, there it is. But the logistics, so the whole thing would be to bring to the public the awareness that your life's not over just because you're sight free, and so you would come in and help out with those logistics if we actually got going on that project?
Yeah, we definitely do. We do a lot of consulting that's similar to that. Penn, mentioned No Barriers earlier. We did some disability awareness training for them, and they asked us to help with the kind of their new facility and making sure that it's accessible. So it is definitely something that we're always trying to help wherever we can. But one of the things that I love about what we do that I think is so different and unique as an adaptive sport organization is we do that consulting, and we do it for major brands too. So we became a national partner of REIs a couple of years ago, and we have been going into REIs all across the country and training their staff on how to be more accessible and inclusive in their store, and how to help them to navigate getting someone connected to their local adaptive sport program. And then we've been also helping them with their inclusion marketing and inclusive design, making sure that the products that they're coming out with and the way that they're marketing them, that people understand that it's for them and what those features are and how, and also, what I've loved about some of these partnerships that we've had with different brands like Target and REI is that they have been really good about listening to us about the importance of showing the average person with a disability versus the Paralympic athlete, and how much more inspiring that is to see somebody who is more quote unquote average person with a disability than, a sponsored Paralympian. So it's been really cool to like be a part of like shifting that narrative. And while it's awesome that the Paralympics have gotten, more publicity and stuff, and that it's really becoming more known and people are watching it, we have also really tried to impress upon our partners the importance of, that may seem unattainable to some people in our community, or it may not even resonate with them at all because they've been on that couch for 30 years with their disability. They're not used to, the idea of being active with their disability, or, newly acquired or born with, whatever that might be. And so, it's much more able for those people to connect with somebody who kind of looks more like them. So,
yeah. I also love how you guys hire people with disabilities. Like you mentioned, you hire veterans. I also saw Craig DeMartino, Gimp Monkeys. That's what they call themselves. Craig, and I've known Craig a long time. Met him through No Barriers, and he was also on one of our podcasts, Game Changers, the other day. I think it was last week. It was really recently that he was on there, and I wanted to share why, kind of just a testimonial of why it's so important what you guys are doing is, Chelsea has been so amazing. I've had to cancel or reschedule this. Okay. It's been a rough year for me health-wise.
That's okay.
I've just, some of it I've shared on here, but most of it I haven't. And it was about 10 days ago. I was just coming out of another bout of extreme illness and was in a really super dark place, darker than I've been in years. And I got up barely, and I was like, oh, I'm going to listen to a podcast. And I was kind of just, what do I want to listen to? And I saw, Game Changers has a new one on there. I'll listen to that. And it just happened to be Craig's. And sometimes you need to hear things, even though you've heard them before, but you didn't hear them at the right moment. And Craig talked about in the podcast is people with disabilities, you just got to keep moving. Whatever that means to you to keep moving. And I listened to his show, and I will try not to get emotional listening to it. But I mean, I cannot stress how dark of a hole I was in. And listening to him, and I knew what he said. Like, I know that in my core, but I could not access it until I heard him talking about it. And I know Craig, and I know his story. And after listening to the podcast, I was like, okay, Penn, just sit up in bed. That's all you got to do. Just sit up. And because I hadn't in days. And so I got to sit up, and then I was like, okay, sit on the side of the bed. Just sit up on the side of the bed. And I did that. And it took me hours and hours, but every moment was like, okay, go sit on the front porch. Just go sit on the front porch. And I was able to do that. And of course, the final conquering moment was get in and take a shower. Just because to me, taking a shower is kind of that benchmark for me. Like, okay, if I can take a shower, I know I'm going to feel 3,000 times better. And in my head, I just kept hearing, just move, just move, just keep moving. And by the time the day was over, Moses and I were actually on the western slopes of Colorado, camping at this beautiful campsite right on it was the Yampa River, beautiful full colors, right across the bridge from the hot springs, the sulfur hot springs over there. And it was crazy to me how just move, right? Just that little bit of movement. And what you guys do is you don't just inspire us to move, but you give us the space and the tools and the time and the support to start that journey, no matter where we are on it, rather it's just sit up in bed moment to, fly down that ski slope or take that first bike ride or whatever it is. And I would love to know from you is that, was that sort of part of the mission to make sure that you hired people
Yes.
that have that lived experience? And obviously they have to have the skill set as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Both of our founders both had physical disabilities and were really interested in providing those high adventure opportunities outside of the Paralympic route. Because at that time, adaptive sports was just kind of starting. It was about 30, 35 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're actually in our 25th year this year. So that was really important to them, was to have people reflective of the community. And most of our staff either have a visible or invisible disability. And it really puts us in a unique position to come alongside people in their pain and trauma and really understand what they're going through and walk with them through that journey in an authentic way. And I think that makes us very unique, and it informs our decisions well as an organization on being strategic and really knowing what our community needs. And we also provide services that we don't talk about, like we will get calls of people, Craig specifically, if a climber has fallen and been severely injured and ends up at Craig Hospital, he gets a call to go to their bedside and tell them their life's not over and they can still climb, and invite them out to our next program. And we've seen that with a lot of different athletes, like well-known athletes, and then also, just folks who are just going through a really rough time. And so, it's something that we do that's just kind of inherent in what we do as an organization. But I think it's really critical because there are things that if you haven't lived with a disability, you just may not know or understand, and you can get all the training in the world, but may still not really fully understand.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely like what we try to do here on The Blind Chick and with the other podcasts that Aftersight does, is that it is that lived experience. And it's also to give a platform for, like what you said, like we definitely have had, these amazing Paralympians on here, and, Eric Weimer, who I know is a friend of your guys' as well. Like those are beautiful, incredible stories, and those are not easy stories, right? They at one point they were just everybody, people like me, but to hear those stories, but also to hear stories about people they're never going to become a household name, but those stories are just as important.
Yeah, and we call it the aha moments, when the perceived impossible becomes possible, is like one of our favorite things to say. And it truly is like that.
I love that.
Just that opportunity. We had an individual at our event, Crank Around the Clock, this last weekend, who, lost his vision and had never rode a bike since. And it's been 20 years, and he rode a bike for the first time. And he was just ecstatic. He was like, how can I tell everybody I know about what you do? And it's those moments that just like give us so much energy and excitement and we also receive calls every single day where somebody will say like, I'm missing my arm, so I don't know how I'm going to ride a bike. And then it's like, okay, well, that's no problem. Well, I'm also missing my leg too. Okay. And I have this, and I have a traumatic brain injury or whatever. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's like pile it on. It's okay. Like we have adaptations. We can serve you. We can make it happen. So, and if we don't have something, an adaptation that is needed, we will find a solution. We actually run a program called Student Solutions Program, and it's in partnership with BAE Systems. And we work with universities all across the country, their human design and engineering teams, to come up with adaptations that would be useful to our community that currently don't exist. So one of the projects I'm super excited about right now is we are working on an audible climbing hold for folks with visual impairments or blindness. Yeah. And so it's going to be something that all gyms, like climbing gyms, can put onto the routes and make the experience really a whole lot better. Because right now we have techniques and we use, headphone systems and stuff, but this would give like a little bit more independence. And that's what we're always striving towards, is the greatest amount of independence that people can have while they're participating.
Yeah, going along with that, I am just amazed because it is so wonderful to hear what you're saying, but aside from the dealing with the trauma drama and making the breakthroughs, having been to National Federation of the Blind conventions and then all the No Barriers events, is not only are you guys breaking through these barriers, but they are really fun. And a crazy metaphor is it's like a very exclusive Club Med. It's that much fun. Yes, you're getting your life back, you're learning new skills and all this, but it's like this incredible, healthy party,
Yes. It's fun. I mean, one of the best things about it is the community and the camaraderie that you experience being a part of the events. Like, it is just so wonderful, and we have so much fun. And there are definitely jokes that are not politically correct and all those things, but it is so fun, and we just have the greatest time. And locally, one of our most successful programs is our dragon boat racing program, and that one is
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, it's so amazing. You get 20 people in a boat. We have people taking their legs off to get in the boat, people transferring from their wheelchairs, people leaving their guide dogs on the side with a volunteer. And then we all get in the boat, and it's kind of like a level playing field. And, we paddle fast and hard together. And it's a team sport that really anybody can be involved in. But we find that our folks with low vision and stuff, they really love dragon boat more than anything else, because it's such a level playing field. Once you're in the boat, you're listening to a drum, the technique, you can be extremely competitive. And there's not adaptive classifications in most dragon boat festivals. And so we are competing against corporate teams and teams who have been together for a long time. And so it's always funny, if they beat us by a half a second or something, and then they're all proud of themselves, and then they watch us get out of the boat, and it's you could just see their face drop and be like, oh my gosh, these people all have disabilities and I had no idea. So it's really cool to experience that. And then the other thing that I love about Dragon Boat is the community of Dragon Boat is so supportive of our team. So, as we're walking back to or hobbling back to our tent area, everybody's high-fiving our folks and congratulating them. And it's just such a cool feeling to be so included in a bigger sporting community, but then also have that camaraderie amongst ourselves and competing for something. So that's the only team sport that we provide as an organization. And we have teams in Tampa, Chicago, Phoenix, and then Denver. And then we also do the festival in Puerto Rico. So some of our folks, even from here, will go down and participate in the festival in Puerto Rico, which is awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry to do this, but we're going to cut this episode short. I know you were having a great time just like I was. Don't worry, Chelsea will be back with us next week. She's going to talk more about dragon boat racing and adaptive adventures. But if you can't wait a week, I get it. Check them out, adaptiveadventures.org. It's an amazing website. Also, we got Colorado Gives Day coming up on December 10th. If you want to donate, donations open on November 1st. So get them in. It's a great tax write-off, and it helps us out as we are a donation-based and a grant-based platform. We want to get information to as many people as possible. So make sure you donate and check that out. If you have any questions for us, 720-712-8856 is our phone number. Feedback@aftersight.org is our email. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, we will check you out next week. See ya.